Hello everyone, you guys saw the title, this is pretty exciting. Today I'm going to use math to find out who has historically performed the best in the ranked playoffs. Then using that data, I'm going to predict the bracket for the Season 9 playoffs, which will probably be wrong because the math weights every ranked season the same, even the ones from years ago, but there's nothing I can do about that. So whatever, it'll be fun to see who is mathematically the playoffs GOAT anyway. Speaking of GOATs, who are the contenders to look out for? Well, the answer probably lies in the three-headed monster, as I'll be calling them. That is Dugile, Loki, and hacking noises, or hacks.
What is this? No, what is this? This is a potato, no?
No,
look at this.
ranked is calling, bro. Just rank is calling. You need to queue up. You gotta.
No,
bro,
I'm not queuing up. I'm not
it's
queuing
not a
up.
potato.
No.
Are you stupid?
Then what is that? Then what is that? How am I supposed to know what this is?
You really don't know. You don't know.
No, what is that?
You really don't know. No, you really don't know.
No, what is it? I don't know what this is.
Dugile is known for being a consistent and fast player that can also telebridge, which is cool if you know what that is, I promise. He has won 2 playoffs and has gotten second place in 2 playoffs as well. Loki is known for having a very fast top speed, but most importantly, he has won playoffs the most times out of anyone. He's won it 3 times and has gotten second place 1 time. Hax is also known for an incredibly fast top speed, but his most notable accomplishment is that he has been in the top 3 in every single playoffs he has participated in. The same could not be said for Loki and Dugile, or any other player. Even though he has only come in first once in the most recent playoffs, he has placed in third 3 times and in second twice. He has never been out of the top 3. So although his first playoffs was Season 3, he has played more seeds and matches than any other player, if we don't count Season 1, and has played 10% of all matches since Season 2, which he didn't even play in. And like I've kind of hinted at a little bit, I'm not counting Season 1 in the dataset because Season 1 is like a nothing burger of a season to me. I'm sorry, Silver. However, when it comes to playing against the 2 other players, Hax's win rate is not that great. Hax has a 20% win rate against Dugile and a 45.45% win rate against Loki. Why am I mentioning this? Well, because I thought it was going to be a big deal. You know, I thought that by winning against better players, your ranking would increase more than if you beat, say, someone who wasn't ranked as highly. Or if you lost against a really good player, it wouldn't factor in as much to losing, if I lost to the worst player in all the playoffs history, right? So I thought that this would matter, his win rate against Dugile and Loki. But for some reason, the mathematical methods I'm going to use today, the Colley method and the Massey method, which are used by the NCAA to rank football and basketball teams, don't take into account how well you perform against a specific opponent. All it takes into account is how well you have performed in general, and the fact that you played a specific opponent, not how well you performed against them. So, for example, Hax has played the same number of seeds against Priffin, another player, and Vstrid, also another player. So the math thinks that Hax beat the 2 of them the same number of times and lost to them the same number of times, even though Hax has beaten Vstrid in every single seed they have played against each other, and as 50-50 against Priffin. The math just simply looks at Hax's win rate and applies it to every single player. I think it's a bit silly, but what do I know? I am not an astrophysicist, and the people who made these ranking systems are astrophysicists, so they probably understand a little bit more than I do. Alright, now before I reveal who the top 3 best MCSR Ranked playoff participants are, I'm going to give a little bit of extra info, so you guys can kind of guess who might come out on top. The player with the best win rate within a seed, so seed by seed, is Dugile, with a just over 67% win rate seed by seed. Behind him is Hax at 65%, and Priffin at 62.5%, and Loki at a little over 61%. However, the player with the highest win rate per per match, not per seed, but per match, is Loki, who, although he came in 4th in the seed by seed win rates, has an 80% win rate per match. Behind him is Hacks, once again in 2nd place at 77%, and then a steep drop off to Priffin actually at 71.4% and Dugile at 70.5%, who came in 1st for the seed by seed win rate. It tells me that Dugile's losses, when Dugile loses, it usually is going to come in very, very, very close matches. That's why his seed by seed win rate is so high, but his per match win rate compared to like Loki is a little bit lower. But if you look at Loki, he's probably won a lot of close matches, but his losses are probably not very close. That's why his seed by seed win rate is going to be a little bit lower. I mean, you just need to look at his finals matches between Dugile. They match up with this story, right? He's played Dugile twice in grand finals. One time he won 4-3, but also he played Dugile again, and Dugile won 4-1, and it just wasn't really as close. Now, Hacks is someone who comes in 2nd in win rate for both per seed and per match, so he's probably more consistent than the other runners match by match, which is reflected in the fact that he has been in the top 3 in every single playoffs, which of course no other player can say. So the data kind of makes sense. And now I will reveal the top 3. To get this top 3, I used the average of the 4 different mathematical methods I used to rank the players. So, I used the Massey method for seed by seed, Massey method for match per match, and then Colley method seed by seed, Colley method per match. So I took the average of all 4 of those, which you can see in the Excel spreadsheet I will link below. And if you're curious what ranking system got what specific values, you can check it out in the graphs on the right side of the spreadsheet or in the results written at the very bottom, which are pretty clear. Okay, so in 3rd place, the 3rd best playoff player of all time, taking into account win rate and strength of schedule, is Infume. Infume? Yeah, I may not have mentioned Infume yet, but although his win rate is not as strong as the other players, he usually comes 4th or 5th in win rate, his strength of schedule is very high. He's played, according to the math, every single player he's played against has been very, very good. And his dataset's a little bit smaller because he's a newer addition to Ranked, so maybe he doesn't have as many games played, so, maybe it's a little bit off, but still, according to the math, he is the 3rd best player of all time. Last season, he got 2nd place behind Hacks, and in the season before that, his very first season, he was knocked out round 1, which you'd think would affect the data a lot, but it didn't, because the player he played against, Retropog, is, according to the math, one of the better players that have ever played Ranked, which I think is kind of funny. Now, for the 2nd best playoff performer in MCSR Ranked history, we have Hacking Noises, which matches his win rate, right? His win rate in both seed by seed and the per match analysis is 2nd, right? Okay, so now I know a lot of people are shocked, right? Because there are 2 players left that I've mentioned earlier, Dugile and Loki, and there's only 1 spot for 1st place, which means that one of them got 4th place, and the player who got 1st is Dugile. According to the math, Dugile is the best MCSR Ranked player, playoffs player of all time, with Loki being the 4th best player of all time, which is fascinating to me because I expected Loki to come in at least like the top 3, right? He has won more playoffs than any other player ever. But apparently, maybe due to what the math thinks is an easier schedule, or maybe because his win rate seed by seed is a little low, Loki is in 4th place. I think this result shows 2 things. First of all, math can't always replace human judgment, especially in the case of ranking players who cannot be ranked through any true objective means. Unless, of course, you consider win rate to be the best metric, in which case Hacks has the best average win rate ranking, right? But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, win rate is not the best metric to rank players. We all know that. The other takeaway is that not all ranking systems are good. If you look at the spreadsheet, you will see that, at least according to my own analysis, the Colley ranking method performed way better consistently than the Massey ranking method. Both times I used the Colley ranking method, Hacks, Duke, and Loki were in the top 3, which is expected. That's the expected result. However, with the Massey ranking method, Infume got 1st and 2nd for the seed by seed and per match separately, right? Both times above Hacks, which makes no sense because Hacks just beat him in the last playoffs, right? So, Yeah, I mean, if we take the average of the Kali ranking methods and ignore the Massey rankings, the results are as follows. Low-key in first, so he jumps from fourth to first, Hacks in second, Dougal in third, Priffin in fourth, and then Infume in fifth, which I think makes a bit more sense. The Kali method also performs better further down the list, especially because it doesn't give as much of a preferential, whether intentionally or not, to players who have a smaller sample size, like the Massey method seems to do. To be fair to the Massey method, though, it was built for college football and, I guess, college basketball, not for ranking Minecraft players who have played wildly different numbers of matches, so perhaps it is on par with the Kali method in that context. Anyway, I will not put my own personal opinions above the math, so I will use the original rankings, the average of all 4 methods I used, to see who will win the Season 9 playoffs. So let's open the bracket. Oh, and by the way, if anyone has not played before, and there are a lot of newcomers this time around, I will look at the phase points leaderboard, which you could just think of it as the rankings for people who played in Season 9, and if the new player is over 5 places above the non-new player, then the new player will move on. Because I think having been in the playoffs is actually a huge advantage, so I think you need to be 5 places above the playoffs player. Okay, I know it's a little bit jank, but it's the best I could do. Okay, so for the first matchup, we have EDCR versus Steez. EDCR wins this matchup based on the phase points leaderboard. In the Hacks versus Feinberg matchup, Hacks is going to win with 65% likelihood. To get the percent chance of victory, I took the Hacks value, and then I divided it by the Hacks value plus the Feinberg value, which is right here. In Aquacord versus NHB, Aquacord wins based on the phase points leaderboard, because NHB's never been in playoffs before. Silver is going to beat Sky Crab. Sorry, Sky Crab fans. And Infume beats Beef Salad with a 65.2% likelihood. Okay, now here it gets a little bit silly. Nehan ended the season 4 places above Loki on the phase points leaderboard, but Loki has played playoffs before, while Nehan has not. So Loki moves on based on the 5 places rule I said earlier. Then to round out the round of 16, Dougal beats HDMI Cables, and Mongi is able to beat Blazemind. Okay, now on to the quarterfinals. For the EDCR versus Hacks matchup, EDCR ended the season in first on the leaderboard, while Hacks ended the season in 12th place. But because EDCR has played playoffs before, we're going to take their rating from playoffs, although EDCR is very small sample size. And Hacks beats out EDCR in their matchup 100% of the time, because EDCR's playoff rating is negative. And to anyone who knows who EDCR is and how good he has gotten so quickly, I suspect that this matchup will be closer than the math suggests. In the matchup between Silver and Aquacord, Silver wins with a 58.3% likelihood, and in the matchup between Infume and Loki, in what will probably be an awesome matchup, Infume beats Loki 50.1% of the time. It's a very, very minuscule difference there, which will make for some exciting playoffs gameplay. In the Dougal versus Mongi matchup, Dougal is meant to win 62.2% of the time, according to the math, even though Mongi beat Dougal in their matchup last playoffs. Now we move on to the semifinals. In the Hacks versus Silver matchup, Silver is defeated with a 64.4% likelihood, and in the Dougal versus Infume matchup, Dougal is going to win, with a 50.7% chance of victory. Once again, very, very close. Okay, so first I will say who is going to win the third place matchup of Infume versus Silver, which according to the data, Infume will win with 62% odds, thus earning him third place. And finally, for our grand finals matchup between Dougal and Hacks, Dougal is going to beat Hacks with a 50.4% likelihood of winning. How exciting will that match be? It's going to be a rematch of Season 5, actually, which is the only time that Hacks and Doog have played each other in playoffs at all. Anyway, if you want to take a closer look at all the statistics, once again, the Excel spreadsheet is leaked with the averages of the Kali and Massey methods as well. Maybe you've even been in playoffs and you want to see how you are rated. There are some cool graphs in there too on the right side to see the data a bit more visually. I mean, this is the spreadsheet here. I can just show you. Like, it's absurd. There's a lot of data here. There's also this graph here. I didn't finish it because I'm lazy and it wasn't necessary to calculate the ratings, but I started looking at Hax's win rate and like Duke's win rate and Loki's win rate against every other player. This is for seed by seed, by the way. This is not match by match. If it was match by match, it would look a lot different. And over on the right side here, you have all the graphs. I made them bigger so they'd be easier to see. Here we go. These are the individual results per matrix method. You can also see the results down here at the bottom. Here we go. And so these are, the red is just the top 10% of ratings. So it's just going to be 4 players every time. And it's actually really interesting. In every single instance, it's the top 4 are Hax, Duke, Loki, and Infume, except for with this calling ranking right here, which puts Perfect at 4th. And Retropog at 6th. Yeah, this is what I was saying. According to the data, Retropog is the 6th best player of all time. According to the Massey method. According to the Kali method, it's the 11th best player of all time. Retropog, you're good, man, but you're not in the same league as like Hax, Duke, Loki, Inhuman, and Priffin in terms of playoff performance. It's just so funny. All right, thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy watching the MCSR Ranked 9 playoffs on the 11th, the 10th, and the weekend after that as well. I certainly will be watching. All right, goodbye.